Hey guys, it's Joseph again from Intellect Finance. Today we're going to meet up with Anthony Suka from G&S Law Group, and we're going to talk to you about the legal side of purchasing property.
So Joseph, I understand you wanted to talk to me about contract.
Yes, so there is a process that's involved. So a client comes to me, we get them a pre-approval, and we ask them not to pay a 10% deposit, only a holding deposit, which is 0.25%.
Once they do pay the 0.25% deposit and sign the contract, which is exchanged, you then have a legally binding contract. The good thing is, under a residential purchase of property, there's a statutory 5 business day cooling off period, which allows them to get out of the contract or rescind the contract within that 5-day period, and they only lose 0.25% of the purchase price. During that period, what we will do is look over the contract, look for any easements, covenants that may affect any future use or use of the property. If there's any conditions in the contract that need amendment or looking at, or advice in relation to size of the property, we usually recommend a survey be done. If it's strata title, we'll usually recommend that they do a strata report. If it's Torrens title, we'll recommend that they get a pest and building report.
But we also get a valuation done by the bank, and then we get an unconditional approval.
Yes.
Once we've got the valuation done on the property and you've done your job.
That's usually one of our checks also, to make sure that the client's got the unconditional approval. Because if the cool off expires and they don't have the unconditional approval, and then run into all sorts of issues. So it's absolutely crucial that they get that tick of approval from you before they decide.
Which is putting the 10% deposit.
Definitely.
And exchanging contracts.
Yeah, unless they've agreed to a reduced deposit, they'll pay the deposit that's been agreed to, usually a 10% deposit.
Yeah.
Then after that, then the next, normally the contract's for 6 weeks. By this time, about 1 week's passed, there's 5 weeks left. We normally make our inquiries with council, strata, Sydney Water.
And then we've got heading towards closer to settlement. That's when we make sure that the money's ready from the bank, from the clients, and we can proceed to a settlement.
And then the last thing that usually happens just before the settlement, the buyer will tell the buyer to go in just before settlement to do a final inspection to ensure a smooth sort of settlement. Yeah.
Thank you.
Exciting stuff, especially for these first home buyers.
Thank you, Anthony. Some great information there from Anthony. It is very easy to get caught out when purchasing property. So I will put a link below. If you do need his services, you can contact him directly.